What's going on, everybody? Looking at the snow-capped Smokies up there. I don't know if that's coming through or not. And you got the Ferris wheel up there in Pigeon Forge. You got all these hotels in the way, blocking the view. When I was a kid, there wasn't nothing blocking your view, and there wasn't no hotels around this place neither. They're everywhere now. Hog Holler is coming of age. But anyway, I wanted to tell you all a quick story that one of my followers had sent in through the comments. Actually, it was a pretty lengthy story, and I took it to be pretty sincere. You can usually tell when somebody's pulling your leg. Sometimes you can even tell through the comments they make and the way they word things and how they talk and everything. You can tell sometimes, and I felt like this person was being honest. I felt like they were sort of perplexed by what happened to them. This happens at Elkmont. Now, I can't find the comment that it come from. It's been about a year since I've read this comment from these people, so I may get a few things wrong. A few small details. The story and what happened to these people won't change, but like I say, I may get names, times, dates, small details not exactly right. So with that, if you don't know anything about Elkmont, it's a deserted ghost town. Real quick, it was a log town around 1907, and then after the logging was done, it went from a logging camp to more of a getaway for the local businessmen in Knoxville. More of the gamblers and highfalutin wealthy people would go up there and stay. There was a motel. It was pretty nice back in there, actually. It was you had to get in by train. So the train would carry these people in on the beginning of the weekend and carry them out at the end. And there was probably a lot of things went on up there in that area. And this went on for a long time. I think now there's 19 structures left standing up there. Most of them have fell, rotted. And like I say, it's a ghost town. It's been that way. I think it started declining after World War II. And then from that point, it just sort of kept going downhill and declining. So you can go there now. You can go to the Elkmont campground. There's a trail that leads from the road right there. You can't drive to the ghost town, but you can walk to it. I think it's 8/10 of a mile, right at a mile, that you can go up there. So there's a lot of paranormal investigators on YouTube that go there. If you type that in on YouTube, you'll be bombarded with all the people who go up there and investigate, and you'll see how creepy it looks. So that being said, these people were coming through the Smokies back a few years ago, and they happened up on the sign for Elkmont, and I guess they had gotten word about it being a paranormal hotspot or just being a ghost town. And this family wanted to visit. So, and it was dark, right at dark, like it is right now here, sundown. Probably a little darker. So they park in the parking lot that you have to park in, and they're ready to hike up this trail. They're the only ones in the parking lot, they notice. And they're all excited to go except for one lady, the aunt. The aunt, she's not looking too forward to it. Matter of fact, she's kind of having an anxiety attack. She does not want to go. She's getting a bad vibe, as people sometimes do in these mountains, certain areas. But this place is giving her a bad vibe. She does not want to be there. So they tell her, you can wait in the car. You know, we're going. We won't be there long. We're going to go investigate from one end to the other, and we'll be back. So they get out of the little SUV, get ready to head up the trail, and I guess she thought, well, going up that trail is going to be a lot less scarier than sitting in this parking lot. It's the only dark parking lot all by myself. So she joins them. She runs up the trail behind them and she joins them, decides that she is going to go. So they walk the mile and get up there to the old ghost town there, and like I say, it's putting off a creepy vibe, and by this time the smoke and the fog is rolling through it just like it does in the Smoky Mountains, and it's looking creepy. And now the moon's coming out, so I mean, it's looking really, really spooky, and it's putting off some bad juju to them. So we're going to explore. I think a couple of them take one side of the street and 2 or 3 take the other side of the buildings, and we're just walking through, looking through the windows, you know, being careful not to fall through the rotted floors, going in a few of the buildings and different things. So I think it's the aunt and maybe 2 of the kids that goes in one of the famous cabins up there where stuff is supposed to take place. And they get inside this old cabin, and the aunt starts down the hallway to one of the back rooms, and all of a sudden commenced to screaming her lungs out. And this is putting the fear of God into the rest of them, because this is an ungodly, blood-curdling scream. And she's looking into a room. They can't see what she's looking at, but she is screaming with her mouth wide open. And as she turns to look at them, her mouth is wide open, wider than normal, what it should be. And it appears that her eyes have rolled back into her head to where all you see are whites. And she is screaming this ungodly scream like a banshee. So the kids come running out of there. The aunt comes running out. The family from across the street that's looking at the other buildings, they come running across the little dirt road there, and they all take off down the trail because they don't know what's going on or what somebody has saw, but they can tell that there's trouble from this scream. But as they head down the trail, they can hear something on the old wooden planks of the porch, and it is heavy footfalls thumping like somebody's running. And they can hear this as they're running. They can hear the thump, 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 thump. And then all of a sudden, it jumps off the porch, the sound does, it lands in the weeds or grass sticks. And then they can hear the heavy footfalls breaking the sticks. Now, they don't see anything. Of course, they're not stopping to look. And the aunt, who initially seen whatever she saw, started screaming, she's way ahead of them down the trail. I mean, she's leaving them behind. So they're running for everything they have. They run back to their SUV. It's pitch dark now. They get back to the SUV. They yank open the doors and jump in. And there sits the aunt in the back seat, just sitting there with her arms folded in her lap. And she's not even breathing hard. And they ask her, "What happened to you? What did you see? What's the matter?" She has no clue what they're talking about. They said, "When you took off up there at the old house running and screaming, what got into you? What scared you? What was that behind us?" She says, "I've been here the whole time. I never left the vehicle. I told you I wasn't going. What are you talking about?" So they sit there with their mouths open. They know she's telling the truth. She's not even winded. She's older than they are. They're gasping for air, shaking and trembling. She's sitting there trying to get an explanation out of him, wanting to know, what is this, some kind of joke? What are you talking about? And the person who sent this in swore to me that this happened to them, that this was the truth. And I felt like they was telling the truth in the comments. I've got comments before where I didn't feel like somebody was being truthful, and I've got a few where I have communicated back and forth with people and talked to them, and I feel like that they're being honest. And I felt like this person who communicated this story to me was being 100% completely honest. Because like I say, this place is weird, and it's strange. It's odd. It's full of unexplained stuff. Cryptids, paranormal, ghosts, missing people, unseen entities. I mean, it's all here. Cults, satanic worshippers in the wood. I mean, it is all here, if you know where to look for it. But if I remember right, the person who told me this also went on to tell that they had some of the worst nightmares for a long time after this had happened to them. And even after they had left the Smoky Mountains, they still continued on to have nightmares for a while. So they was left wondering what was on the porch with them, what walked up to the ghost town with them that looked like their aunt. What was this thing in the house that was screaming at them with its mouth gaped wide open more than normal and the eyes rolled back in the head? And then what was the heavy footsteps running across the boards of the porch and through the woods? Well, that follower said they would never go back up there again to Elkmont, and I don't blame them. I hadn't been in a long time, but I think they said they wouldn't even go at noon in the middle of the daylight now. Sorry about the sniffing, guys. I'm out here, it's freezing cold. You can see the snow up there. But I thought I'd drop this story by. I've got a few more stories. I've got some friends that I've grew up with and I done stuff with. Went camping and hunting with them and had a few weird experiences with them. And I've never told the story because I knew if they ever got on YouTube and heard the story, they'd know who I was. Well, they would probably know who I am anyway, and I've bumped into them a few times since I've had this channel, and they haven't said anything to me about having this channel, so I feel like they're probably not big YouTubers, YouTube watchers. So I think I may tell a couple of stories that happened when I was out with them growing up around here when we'd go out in the woods. I got 3 that come to mind that's kind of weird, odd. But I'll relate those to you here a little bit later on. But I thought I'd touch bases with you guys and spin this story. I've also got another viewer story of I can look it up because I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. These people trapped something in their barn when this lady was a kid. Sort of like what my story my sister told me back years ago. It sounds, if I remember right, but it's a little bit different. I go back and find it, guys. I'll tell it to y'all too. But man, I'm gonna get off from here. Try to go find a place and get warm. My hand's about to freeze, y'all, and it's about to get dark. Now I'm on the wrong side of the graveyard, so looks like somebody's parked over there. So I'll go this way, guys. I'll catch y'all later. See you. Bye.